thank you too for joining. I'm thrilled to have you guys here for the Campfire Series kickoff under our Cloud Native Madison. I'm Ryan Etten. I'm a senior specialist architect with Red Hat and your lead organizer for the CNCF Cloud Native Community Group, Cloud Native Madison. As I just mentioned, today's event will be recorded and posted to our community page afterwards. For any of you that are either new or listening to this recording right now and joining us for the first time, perhaps you've seen the letters of the CNCF, maybe you've heard about how amazing KubeCon is, or you've attended a Kubernetes Community Days event. But what exactly is the CNCF, and why should you be a part of the community? Well, the Cloud Native Computing Foundation is more than just letters and events. It's a movement, and it's a collaborative effort that brings together industry leaders, developers, and users to build a more resilient, scalable, and flexible ecosystem for cloud native computing. So by fostering vendor-neutral open source projects, the CNCF enables those organizations to adopt best practices and tools that help them drive innovation. So why should you care? Because being a part of the CNCF community connects you at the forefront of cloud native advancements, giving you access to a bunch of learning resources, networking opportunities, and a chance to contribute to projects that are really truly reshaping the tech landscape. So today, we'll reflect on 2024's key lessons in cloud native DevOps and security, and then we'll kind of look ahead into 2025, and we'll introduce our new Campfire Series. Kind of introduces 3 pillars: the chat, circle, and connect, and then what that means for our local community. We abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which ensures an inclusive and respectful environment. So please help us keep our community safe and welcoming. And if you face or witness any uncomfortable conduct, please reach out to me or the CNCF directly. And Nick, might be repetitive for you, but just a few more slides, so bear with me. But for those that are new or watching this recording, who are the CNCF? Well, founded in 2015, the Cloud Native Computing Foundation exists to support vital open source projects, Kubernetes, Prometheus, and more. And they also host major conferences and empower local groups like us across the globe. So we share in that CNCF goal of building strong cloud native communities. Their mission is to make cloud native computing ubiquitous. So what do we mean by ubiquitous? We mean that it's present, appearing, or found everywhere. So why is that relevant? Well, the CNCF has built a community of technologists who are passionate about modernizing how we work using cloud native technologies. And these technologies are scalable, adaptable, and work across public, private, and hybrid cloud infrastructures. There's over 200 projects and over 250,000 contributors. So the CNCF's reach extends across industries and geographies and is truly a driving force for innovation. So they're everywhere, and they help organizations like you navigate on your cloud native journeys. So one final note on just the introduction of who we are and who the CNCF is. Let's remind ourselves of the definition of cloud native. So cloud native practices essentially empower organizations to develop, build, and deploy workloads across public, private, and hybrid cloud environments in a programmatic and repeatable manner. So key characteristics of that include loosely coupled systems that are more secure, resilient, and scalable, and technologies like containers, microservices, serverless functions, and declarative APIs. So the definition really helps show how cloud native practices enable organizations to meet their needs at scale with that agility and reliability. So enter this great group. Cloud Native Madison, our local CNCF community chapter, has been uniting developers, ops engineers, and tech enthusiasts around open source and cloud native technologies. And we emphasize sharing knowledge, fostering DevOps culture, and then staying in step with the CNCF's broader mission of collaboration and open innovation. As 2024 drew to a close, cloud native and DevOps have never been more pivotal or more intricate. So simply put, challenges are now real. Kubernetes and microservices have solidified themselves as the default blueprint for modern applications, and they're empowering organizations to deliver software at unprecedented speed and scale. App modernization, meanwhile, has now been fully embraced and is fully embracing the cloud native re-architecting. There are now new AI-driven transformations emerging as the hottest trend this past year. But that rapid innovation combined with that accelerating complexity and intensified security concerns really uncovered fresh vulnerabilities across our code bases, supply chains, and runtime environments. So the bad actors now are acutely aware of all of those weak points. So in the past 12 months, the community has responded to that and contended with headline-making breaches, unplanned outages, and heightened worries about supply chain integrity. And all the while, platform engineering teams quietly laid the groundwork for smoother Kubernetes adoption, streamlined observability, and default embedded security controls. So advances in AI have added another layer of change and influencing everything from cluster management to pipeline monitoring and protection. So looking ahead to 2025, the merging of DevOps, platform engineering, and cloud native tech is going to redefine the industry once again. So we're going to now promise deeper integration, stronger resilience, and more dynamic possibilities for both developers and operators. As I mentioned before, overall, 2024 was pivotal for cloud native DevOps. Kubernetes and microservices became standard building blocks for modern scalable software. We also saw AI supercharging the app modernization efforts. But with that innovation came complexity and risk, particularly with multi-cloud setups and our supply chain security. So let's kind of look at those incidents and lessons a little bit further, and then we'll dive into the new Campfire series.
Quick interjection, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
I don't think I can see your presentation.
Really?
Yeah. Your speech has been very great, and I don't think I've missed anything. But
going with it. Okay, well, let me start sharing. And thank you for saying that. Let me go there again. How about now?
Nope. Oh, you could see it? Darn. Okay. Well, maybe it's me.
Oh, good. Okay, so Nick can see it. Well, that's good. So that means it's on the recording. I'll give you a second to see if you can find it, though, so then you can at least keep up. There's a view tab on the top right. Views are disabled during screen sharing. Maybe that's on my end. Are you able to flip around?
No. But all right. That's okay.
Are you sure? I can give you another 10, 20 seconds. That's okay. See if you can find it.
Nah, that's all right. Go ahead.
All right, we'll have those awesome slides for you. It'll make a whole bunch more sense once you watch the recording again.
Perfect.
All right, Brooke, so 2024, and thanks for listening so attentively. That's perfect. So the cloud native promise of agility, scalability, and rapid delivery really came face to face with a stark truth. That complexity brings risk. The rapid spread of Kubernetes, service meshes, and event-driven architectures meant that one minor misconfiguration could now snowball into a very large-scale incident. So a handful of notable outages and breaches drove home the fact that securing our cloud-native ecosystems is now an urgent priority. We had multi-cluster configuration blunders. So as teams developed applications across multiple Kubernetes clusters, often spanning hybrid or multi-cloud environments, seemingly small RBAC permission oversights or missed network policies essentially turned into major vulnerabilities. So one cluster's misconfigured setting opened up backdoors that threatened the entire infrastructure. We also saw a whole slew of supply chain attacks. So the threat actors became more cunning in their attempts to compromise our container images, Helm charts, and package repositories. And this past year proved that tainted software supply chains can instantly deliver that malicious code into production Kubernetes environments. So by targeting CI/CD pipelines and the dependencies that are flowing through them, adversaries now exploited trust relationships to penetrate deeper and faster. The incidents that revealed themselves to not be just technical errors, it really served as a strategic wake-up call. So simply running Kubernetes is no longer sufficient. In order for us to operate in cloud-native environments securely, organizations need a holistic strategy. So we need robust tooling, continuous observability, integrated security checks, and most importantly, sound governance. And with that sound governance, we need to acknowledge and address the full scope of that cloud-native complexity. Observability in 2024 truly became mission critical. Teams realized that it's not just about collecting logs, metrics, and traces, but it's about synthesizing that into actionable insights. Developers and operators alike recognize that without a full view of all of their environments, it's nearly impossible to maintain reliability, catch those anomalies early, and diagnose hidden issues before they spiral into major incidents. So to reiterate that first point of mine, contemporary observability extends well beyond just mere metrics, logs, and traces now. It's focusing now on turning that raw data into meaningful and actionable insight. To that end, AI-assisted observability tools surface patterns that no human analyst previously could easily spot. Everything from subtle latency spikes in critical services to early indicators of software supply chain compromise. Coupled with machine learning and advanced correlation methods, teams were able to isolate configurations faster and then zero in on those rogue processes much more efficiently. So observability in 2024 now has evolved into a powerful security ally, and it's equipping teams with a dynamic awareness of their systems, ultimately giving them quicker and more effective responses to those abnormal activities. By 2024, the rise of DevOps was no longer a question of if, but how to adapt it for cloud-native realities. The cultural and procedural groundwork paved the way for ephemeral containerized workloads to thrive, thanks to our automated pipelines, continuous integration and delivery, and infrastructure as code. Throughout the year, DevOps and the Kubernetes ecosystems fused more tightly. Teams started to embrace policy as code, GitOps, and progressive delivery methods to push updates consistently while preserving security and control. We have our canary and blue-green deployments, enhanced by AI-driven risk assessments that offer the confidence to release our features more frequently. The upshot of that is we now have faster delivery cycles, greater system stability, and a significantly improved developer experience. It's all about increasing that developer velocity. After a series of high-profile breaches, software supply chain security shot to the top of everyone's priority list as well. So organizations realize that simply locking down Kubernetes clusters at runtime is no longer enough. We need to also verify that what's being deployed is inherently trustworthy. So as a result, we have container image signing, stricter admission controls, and continuous dependency scanning evolving from nice-to-haves to now standard operating procedures. Tools like SBOMs, the software bill of materials, and AI-driven checks gained serious traction, helping those DevOps teams keep better track of exactly which components are entering their clusters. In response to new vulnerabilities, some really exciting things that we've seen, particularly within the wide use of open source libraries, teams started to leverage automated fix recommendations and quick rollbacks to mitigate those risks. And in some cases, AI even assisted developers by rewriting that insecure code on the fly. So that's pretty groundbreaking. And it ultimately drastically shortened the time that they needed to address those critical flaws. So as you might have caught on, the integration of AI into our cloud native workflows has emerged as a defining trend for us now in 2024 and into 2025. So beyond now just assisting with code completion, AI began shaping our cluster management, anomaly detection, and policy enforcement. So picture an AI model that continuously learns about your Kubernetes cluster's normal state. It could spot a sudden CPU spike in a key microservice alongside a suspicious outbound request to some unknown domain. It could automatically alert the operators then, or even go so far as to trigger some containment on that. Meanwhile, AI-driven cost optimization is on the rise as well, helping teams reduce and resize their clusters or reroute their traffic for better efficiency. So the net effect that we've seen are smarter, more adaptive systems that self-tune, self-secure, and self-heal under platform engineering principles. So with all of that, what might 2025 hold for the cloud native DevOps landscape? We're going to look for even tighter integration among Kubernetes security, observability, and automation. So we're likely going to see unified control planes, consolidated platforms that are going to handle the provisioning, deploying, observing, and securing of workloads, all within a single cohesive experience. By reducing that complexity and cognitive load, the unified solutions are going to make cloud native environments more consistent and secure. We should expect to see stronger policy enforcement and compliance frameworks. As regulations start to proliferate more, compliance as code and automated risk scoring are going to start to dominate. Enforcing policies across the network, storage, cluster configuration, and supply chain inputs powered by AI-driven enhanced auditing and reporting will soon become the norm. And then we're going to see on the heels of that, instant remediation and self-optimizing clusters. AI is going to keep shaping the cloud native workflows from suggesting those proactive fixes to executing rollbacks the moment anomalies appear. So developers can now begin to expect guidance on selecting open source dependencies based on historical security performance, which is really going to further streamline their path to reliable software. And then finally, very excitingly, we're going to see an extended platform engineering ecosystem. The rise of platform engineering will continue, delivering robust internal platforms that provide far more than just Kubernetes. So secure software supply chains, sophisticated observability stacks, and developer-friendly workflows are going to become standard features in these curated environments. In 2024, those cloud-native technologies really went mainstream, and they offered unprecedented flexibility and speed. With that agility, though, again, came with the heightened complexity, and with that complexity came fresh risk. So as we start 2025, the most successful organizations are going to be those that pair DevOps principles with platform engineering discipline, robust observability, and advanced AI. So rather than just seeing Kubernetes as a stumbling block, they're going to treat it now as the foundation of a secure, resilient, and intelligent solution. So the next phase of cloud native DevOps is going to be about far more than just spinning up your containers quickly. It's going to be about weaving that security, reliability, and automation into every layer of our software development and operational processes. So by embracing that holistic approach, our teams can now fully realize the promise of cloud native innovation, and we can drive the industry forward with agility, trustworthiness, and long-term competitive advantage. So the big news for Cloud Native Madison, we've arrived with the backdrop of 2024's lessons and 2025's big trends. We're organizing our local efforts into 3 pillars under the Campfire Series. We're going to have chats, which will be our short, frequent biweekly sessions that I'm going to be hosting as office hours to come and learn more about the group, ask questions, discuss sponsorship, speaking opportunities. We're going to have circles. These are going to be monthly deep dives like this one, where we're going to pick a key topic. Could be supply chain security or AI observability, and then we're going to dissect it thoroughly, maybe even show an awesome demo that will complement it. We'll host those then as hybrid events and be in person and virtual if the community calls for it. But as we're getting started, we're kind of figuring out where our best footing is to get for now. And then finally, we're going to have Connects. These are going to be our flagship events, larger gatherings each quarter, possibly mini conferences or day-long workshops, where we're going to bring in guests and sponsors and have a great time learning all about things Cloud Native and our amazing community. So let's converge those lessons from 2024 into that outlook for 2025 with Cloud Native Madison. I plan to host our circle sessions on the third Thursday of every month. So we'll dive into those hot topics like serverless evolution, supply chain security, AI-driven observability, platform engineering. And each month we'll pick one or two of these trends to unpack in depth or see a demo. And if you're interested in leading a discussion or sharing a use case, please let us know. Starting at the end of January, then, we're going to roll out our chats. These are going to be our biweekly office hours on the second and fourth Fridays of every month. So this is your chance just to drop by if you have any real-time questions, troubleshoot challenges, brainstorm ideas in a rather informal setting. So if you need just some quick Kubernetes help, you want to compare some AI tooling, or you want to learn how you get involved with the community at large, then the chat sessions are going to be a real easy way for you to connect. There's no need for a big presentation or a formal structure. And then finally, we're going to plan those quarterly Connect events. So those will be our larger in-person gatherings starting in Q2, 3, and 4. So think of those as those mini conferences, extended meetups, possibly have sponsor workshops or advanced topics like AI/ML pipelines, multi-cluster governance, or some hands-on labs. So if you have suggestions for speakers or sponsors, we'd love to hear them. I have a few queued up that is going to be coming on next month or probably the following month that I'm kind of excited about, so stay tuned. And then finally, we want you all to stay involved between these events. So we have a dedicated Slack workspace now for quick Q&A events and general networking. So I will link that to you a little bit later here. And then we're also looking for volunteers. So perhaps you want to co-host a chat session, present at a circle, or help organize a Connect event. New speaker slots are always open. So if you have an interesting project or insight to share, please reach out. So with that, to keep the campfire theme alive, let's gather by the fire and open the floor a little bit. Thank you both. I'm glad this is why I wanted the mics at least working, a little bit of interaction here. Let's help shape 2025. Share your thoughts on the circle topics, chat session formats, Connect event ideas. Threw a few icebreakers up here, but any topic is welcome. So yeah, if you want to just go around, introduce yourself, feel free. But otherwise, a few more slides after this, but now it's just an open forum. So. Any questions so far on how the group will kind of sustain itself moving forward?
No, this all sounds really exciting. The big day events once a quarter or whatever, that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, those will be great. And we might even, the circles, so we're going to be throwing these metaphors at it all the time, but, throwing logs on the fire. But, in the KubeCon, you can see the events where the idea, I don't know if it was you, Nick, somebody at our last meetup had the great idea where you just kind of meet in a series of tables out, and then you put a sticky note up on the board, and then you bring that to the table, and then people just kind of congregate there. And so we're going to borrow that concept, iterate a little bit, and use some logs. Put some logs up on the board, and then sit down at a table, say like GitOps or AI, and then you'll just throw a log on that fire, the proverbial fire, maybe a circular table. We'll see how far we go with those puns. Essentially, all of these chat circles and connects will feed into those large flagship events. But there is potential for circles as well, just for informal monthly meetups as well. So looking forward to it. And then with Cloud Native Madison now, Kubernetes Community Days, if you haven't heard of that, is where up to 500 people in sponsorship partnership with the CNCF, we can actually collaborate with two neighboring groups. So the Minneapolis group and the Chicago group. Now with Madison, we could potentially host a very large mini KubeCon of sorts, would be very cool. So lots coming up here in the next year or two. And thanks to people like you for helping getting the word out and building momentum. And we'll see where it goes. So perfect. Well, I won't put any of you on the spot for any of these other questions, but start to think about it. I'm curious where you guys are, and yeah, that's really it. We're halfway through, so I don't really have anything else. But I'll just say thanks for gathering. Yeah, joining our community means being a part of a movement that values innovation, collaboration, and growth. Here is the important slide. We've covered a lot. We've looked at those 2024 reflections, security incidents, platform engineering, teased what we're going to do in 2025. But if you want to stay up to date, the QR code here is our link tree. That will link you to our Slack channel, our CFP, our sponsorship form, community groups, everything is there. Upcoming KubeCon events are linked there as well. So why would you join? I'll leave you with my elevator pitch, because being a part of that local community helps connect you face-to-face with people who share your interests and goals. And it's truly a great way to learn, share, and network around your own cloud native journeys. So we're really excited for 2025 and we're reviving where we were and the great group before COVID kind of put us all backwards a little bit. So Nick, great to see you again. Thanks for coming. And that's pretty much all I have today. So again, this is a recorded presentation, so I'll throw that up on our community page if you want to circle back and take a look at it. Otherwise, join that Slack and reach out anytime if you want to get involved. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day today.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you betcha.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, take it easy. Bye-bye.